Hello guys, it is me, the What If here today, and today, no one asked for this what if, but I'm making it. What if Belle was Gypsy Danger? Part 1. So we start with Gypsy Danger in the breach. As Gypsy Danger was hitting the self-destruct button, Gypsy Danger lived, or parts still there. However, when the pilots left, Gypsy Danger grew his very own soul. He found a portal to another world. And of course, Gypsy Danger had the same wounds. He was missing an arm and his leg was severely damaged. As Belle, or Gypsy Danger, goes through the portal and destroys it. However, the precursor cover, a kaiju managed to slip through, and along with an experimental Jaeger kaiju. It's not Apex, but something else. It's one Obsidian Fury that the guy made, but anyway. As Belle appeared in the forest, he looked at his surroundings and he was curious about where he was. However, Gypsy Danger somehow was healing himself. His arm was slowly regenerating for the mech. However, in doing so, transformed Belle into a human. The one we're seeing right now in the video. Gypsy Danger was no longer Gypsy Danger. It was Belle now. He goes by Belle Danger. Or Gypsy Danger is the name, if you want it. Guys, if you want to tell me in the comment section, please tell me the name you think you should have, Belle or Gypsy Danger. You guys choose. Also, I'm not making part 2. My friend is, Red Rifle. Look up the name Red Rifle 23, and you should find him. He's making part 2. Okay? I'll leave his link in the description so you guys know. Also, I have to check my battery. Yep, I have to charge it. So I'm sorry. Give me a minute. Wait, wait. Okay, good. I'm making sure I'm recording. There. As Belle was walking through the forest, looking around, he finds some clothes off a. He manages to find some clothes that was on a dead person. He grabs him and puts him on. It was a noble. He's been out here for 2 days. It looks like he's been like his throat has been cut open. Gypsy Danger, or Belle, to be more precise, looked in his pockets as he took the clothes. His pockets had some gold and a notebook. In order to live in this place, he had to know what language they say and what is in the world, this new world. As he begins reading the book, entry 1. Today I went to the dungeon with some people. I don't know who these people are, but they let me join their familia. However, they were acting really weird when they were looking at me for cash for this drink that the gods made. They say if you have one sip, it's like your soul's been in heaven for years, forever. However, Gypsy Danger was like, Note to self, don't drink what they're gonna serve you. Entry 2. Today I got my new skill. It's called being aware of my surroundings. So it basically, as Gypsy Danger is reading the description of what it does, it basically allows me to know where monsters are and where to go in case there are really high level monsters to hide. And Bear was like, so I'm guessing this guy must have some type of power or magic. Interesting that is, but that does not help me in this situation. I already have scanners for those things. As Bell skips ahead, as Bell kept reading it, he's on the last entry number 28. Today, I got out of bed this morning and these people were staring at me at the bar. I don't know why, but I had a feeling that I was going to die. And they told me to come to the forest. And that's where the notebook ends. As Bill closes it and puts it in his pocket and just says, great. Not only do I know how this guy died, but I know where the city is at least. As Bill begins examining the forest, examining the trees and the ground, he noticed that in the trees there are some sword marks on there. 3 slashes of it. 3 slashes of sword and some blood. Then Bell begins to scan the area with his eyes. He scans the area, and he manages to find some tracks on the ground, and he makes a photographic thing. Okay, he makes a photographic 3D model of the carriage leaving, and then he begins to follow it. However, the trail ends about 3 miles. Bell looks at the ground. He sees the carriage on the wheels on the ground, or the marks on the ground, are gone. So Bell investigated again. He found mud trails that are cut in half, and that's when Bell realized that they must have stopped their wagon somewhere and left it there, so no one would know that they purchased it. And then they proceed to drag this guy out here and kill him. Simple humans, Bell's saying. It's no wonder that they are always greedy. As Bell puts his hands together and just says, well, time to go figure out where they went. As Bell uses his scanners to pick up anything, he finds a deer. He picks up a deer on his radar. Bell turns around. Bell just stays there and just does not move. And Bell says, plasma cannon activating in 3, 2, 1. Bell's hand transforms into the plasma cannon of Gypsy Danger and shoots the deer, killing it. As Bell now begins walking towards it, Bell has the memories of his 2 pilots, of how to hunt, because his previous pilot knew how to hunt. And Bell does not wish to link with anyone else, because he's the first Jaeger ever to achieve consciousness, and to have his very own soul. However, when his hand was fully regenerated, it had a scar on it. A scar on it is where it was ripped off, and his leg has a scar on it too. But not a big scar, just a little curve of where it was ripped off. As Bell now begins cutting off stripping the meat from the deer, cutting its carcass and ripping out its intestines and its lungs and other organly things. As Bell now is stabbing into the deer with his deplorable his wrist blades, is now cut off a piece of the meat, like ribs, and then cuts it up and cooks it on a fire as he was making it as well. But anyway, guys, I'm not ending the video here yet. I want to make it like an hour long for you guys. But I have a question. If you guys enjoyed this video, please tell me in the comment section, please. I'm sorry about the noise as well. I don't know why that happens, but yeah. Anyway, as Bell was done cooking the deer, he found out that this road had some type of leveling. Because when he first killed that deer, he felt something, but he didn't know how to describe it. However, he checked his data, and it just showed a level bar. It showed that he was level 15. And yes, why should he be level 15? Because it's Gypsy Danger, because Gypsy Danger, I'm going to say he killed like a lot of kaijus. And the big kaiju just leveled Gypsy Danger up to 15, so yep. And Bell noticed that he was about to level up pretty soon. He just needed 24 or more XP. However, wildlife count for 1 XP. So, he decided wanted to kill some more, but decided not to. It will draw too much suspicion and make too much noise for other things. When Bell was trying to walk, he noticed that his right leg was a bit wobbly. Bell said it was probably due to the kaiju biting my leg. Probably still had some trauma to it. As Bell now begins opening up his leg, and he sees that there is some pieces, like some metal pieces in his leg that are not fixing themselves. So Bell decided to correct this issue and put the pieces in place. However, it was brutally hurtful to Bell. But it was nothing that Gypsy Danger wasn't used to. As Gypsy Danger finally fixed his leg, he decided to train out there for about 2 years. And I'm gonna say this: Bell doesn't age as normal people would. He ages every 50 years. I know, that's a long time. A long time indeed. No, I'll let you guys decide in the comment section for how long his lifespan should be. Because 100% Jaegers don't age, but they do get rusty. But since Bell has his own soul, since he's the Jaeger, yeah, I don't know where to go with this, guys. But also, my friend's audio for part 2 is pretty bad, so I'm sorry, guys. But also, if you like this artwork, please tell me in the comment section. Because I worked on this, and yeah, it was not easy. I'm sorry about Gypsy Danger being a bit more bright. I try to make her more darker, so yeah. Anyway, as Bell was done training his blades and his sword for the next 2 years, he noticed he can only use like 1 plasma cannon at a time. However, he can use both his blades at the same time. However, in doing so, kind of drains him. though the plasma cannon does, because it takes a lot of energy and magic to deploy that. And also, there will be a kaiju fight soon, but anyway. As Bill finally gets out of the forest, he finds the city. He decides to walk there. It took him about a full day to. It took him about like the entire day to get there, and it's now night. As Bill finally gets there, his legs are a bit wobbly. He almost falls to the ground, but he manages to get himself composed. As Bell goes to an alleyway and begins sitting down there, and Gypsy Danger says, "Man, I guess walking really put a strain on my legs." As Bell laughs, just saying, "Well, it has been a long time since I've been able to walk this distance." As Bell said, "It would have been easy if I turned into Jaeger into my form, but it would cause too much attention or attract too much attention." As Bell begins now getting up, his legs are fully rested. He's been in that alleyway for about 32 minutes. As he's getting out of the alleyway, he bumps into Hestia. As Bell said sorry about bumping into Hestia, and lends his hand to Hestia. As Hestia grabs it, and Bell begins pulling her up. She's now standing up, and Hestia's like, So, what familia are you in? Loki familia?" As Bell's like, what the hell is a familia? And she says, "Oh, so you don't have a familia." As Bell says, "What is a familia?" As Hestia's like, "Oh, so you don't know the gods? But everyone knows gods." And Bell's like, "What gods are you talking about?" As Hestia's like, "Oh, so this is strange, but I guess I'll give you the story." A long time ago, and blah blah blah, we're here now. And Hestia explained everything, as Bell's like, "So there are gods in this world. Interesting. So it's like the myth. So it's like in our history books, Zeus and the Olympians. I guess in this world they're all true." As Hestia's like, "Hey, are you going to just keep staring at me forever?" As Bell was like, "Oh, sorry about that. I zone out sometimes." As Hestia's like, "Well, I have an offer for you." As Bell says, "What kind of offer?" Hestia begins to say that, "Well, I need someone for my familia, and the more popular your familiar is, the more respect you get from the gods, and you may get people's attention." As Bell was like, "Attention." As Bell was like, "What kind of pay does it give me?" As Hestia is like, "Oh, it gives you really good pay for low level monsters, but the higher the monster, the greater the pay." Hestia says, and Bell's like, "I'll go to the dungeon then." As Hestia's like, "You can't go to the dungeon if you're not in a familia." As Bell's like, "What?" As Hestia begins to explain that you have to be in a familia in order to go into the dungeon. If you don't have a familia, then they won't allow you in. As Bell was like, "I see. I guess I'll join your familia." As Hestia's like, "Really?" As Bell was like, "Yeah, I might as well. Besides, you said you didn't have anyone in familia." As Hestia says, "Yes, so I'll join it. I'll be the first person who joined your familia in a very long time, I guess." Hestia's like, "Yes, I get someone in my familia." As Bell, yeah, Bell looks like this. He's like insanely devilish handsome. And no, I'll leave you guys. No, I'll let my friend decide, because he's making part 2, but he's gonna be playing the game, but his voice audio is terrible. because his brother like messed it up, literally. Probably about 5 weeks later. Hestia was 3 weeks later. Hestia got everything prepared for Belle. Yeah, and Gypsy Danger is going by Belle a little bit there, and a little bit there, and now and then. So yeah, as Belle says to Hestia, as Hestia says, "Good luck in the dungeon," and Belle says, "It took you about 2 weeks to get me into the dungeon." And Hestia's like, "Yeah, I had to prove to them that you were my familia." And Belle was like, "Yeah, I bet that was a real fucking handful." And Hestia's like, "Yeah, and I have to do some side jobs too to get us around." And Belle was like, "Don't worry. As soon as I get in there, I'll kill every monster in there with not even moving my fingers." As Hestia's like, "Okay, Belle, but make sure you come back with a lot of cash because we need it badly." As Belle was leaving the church, it says, "You got it, Hestia." As Belle gets to the dungeons, however, some minotaurs got released onto the lower levels, and some of the lower levels had to be evacuated. However, Belle didn't get fucked up by the minotaur. However, when Belle first arrived at the floor, everyone's like saying, "Is all low levels here?" And there's this one person who said, "No, there's one person who isn't here." And everyone said, "Who is it?" The first guy who's ever joined the Loki familia. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, we have to someone has to go save him." And this is when the Hestia familia and this is when the Loki familia shows up to kill the Minotaurs. However, when they arrive there, they just see 50 Minotaurs dead and one struggling with one of Hestia's familia, one of Hestia's familia, or one of them. As the bull is like missing its arm, as Bill is like slowly walking towards it, with just a bunch of blood on him, and then Bull begins running to Bell, charging at him. He rams Bell into the wall, but Bell just is standing there, not even flinched or not even a scratch on him. And I'm making Bell insanely durable because if you're that small, you can't be scratched by any normal physical strength. Because Gypsy Danger, she's a fucking big ass fucking like tank to fucking small creatures. As Bell grabs the Minotaur's horn and just rips it off and shoves it into the Minotaur's throat. As Minotaur is choking on its own blood, Bell steps on its head and crushes it. And the Loki familiar are like, "What the hell is this guy? He took out 51 Minotaurs without even breaking a sweat." As Bell is going past eyes, and Bell just says, "You're pretty slow, sword princess." As Bell whispered that to her. As Bell is waving his hand, as the Loki familiar like saying, "Hey, are you actually in the Hestia familia?" And Bell says, "Yep." As he's on the edge of the stairs, and they're like saying, "What are you doing?" As Bell just jumps, through the middle of the stairs, falling, and he lands onto the thing, making a huge loud sound, and you just hear as smoke begins clearing up. All they see is this Bell walking out of the smoke covered in so much blood. And everyone just thought the Sword Princess saved him. However, they noticed that his hands have been a bit damaged. His clothes are a bit wrinkled with a lot of blood. And of course, he doesn't have blood on his hands. He just has a lot of blood on some blood on his face. As he just cashes in a huge amount of crystals, and he gets paid a lot, and everyone's like, what the fuck, how did he get that much? Because now Belle just leveled up to level 16. The Sword Princess has a long way to go if she wants to beat Belle. And you know what? Guess what Belle has? He has an XP doubler. It times his XP by 2, so he gets more XP than most people, and he levels up way faster. Yes, I'm giving him that because one reason, because Gypsy Danger is a fucking beast. As Belle begins walking out the door, Loki familia are looking for this mysterious person. And the elf lady is like, where's Belle? As Belle's like walking through the streets covered in a lot of blood, and she's like, and the elf lady like, oh my god, are you okay? As she was like, and Belle's like, yeah, I'm fine. As she just says, fine? Whose blood are you covered in? Are you covered in the Minotaur's blood? And she says, did the Loki familiar save you? As Belle shook his head no, as he said, I killed 51 Minotaurs by myself. And she was like, what? After Belle Beans explaining how they were not even a fucking challenge for him, everyone's doubting him because, they don't believe because he just told her that he was level 16. And he said, well, I wasn't actually level 16, I was level 17. Not 17, 15. And Overman like, what the fuck? Everyone thinks he's like lying. Oh my gosh. As Belle gets to the bar to, oh shit, I'm like shaking right now. What the hell? Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm shaking, but whatever. Anyway, Belle, as soon as Belle returned to Hestia was like, oh, Belle, why are you covered in so much blood? As Belle says, I killed 51 Minotaurs without breaking a sweat. And here's a lot of gold for you, Hestia. Hestia she's in complete shock. And Hestia's like, uh, 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 what, Belle? As Belle's like, just gives her that look, she says, are you gonna take the money or not? I don't need it. I already divided it up for me. As Hestia takes the money, and she just, it's like it's a bag full of gold. As Belle also has, like, a small amount of that, Hestia gets more because she's the goddess. That's how nice this version of Belle is. Please, guys, tell me in the comment section, do you love this, like, insanely? Do you tell me if you love this, please? If you do, thank you so much for loving it. Oh my goodness, I swear to fucking god if I had my mic on mute. Okay, I'm sorry guys, it's a habit of me checking my mic because I don't want to be muted again, but anyway. I want to see how long this video is. Yeah, I can do it for a bit longer. As Belle went to sleep the other day, went to sleep for the next 2 days, Hestia was like worried sick if he was sick or not. As Belle woke up and gets up from the couch, and he knows Hestia's on him, and Belle's like, so this is what my pilot had when he was playing those games. I can't remember what they call it. They start with the H because Gypsy Danger can't remember. Has memories, but he can't remember most of the names that his pilots played. So, yep. As Belle gets up as Belle slowly slips out underneath Hestia, he starts preparing to go to the dungeon. However, he knows he has some bloody clothes, so he took off his jacket and decided to wash it. After he was done washing, he put his jacket back on, and someone was waiting for him outside the church. It was Eyes, and she wanted to question him about how was he this strong. When Belle got out though, he was like, "Oh, if it isn't Sword Princess." As Eyes is like, oh, so you know me by that name. As Belle's like, yeah, pretty much. And she says, but how did you defeat 51 minotaurs by yourself? Did anyone help you? As Belle was like, nope, I did it all by myself. There, as Eyes was like, but what's your strength? What gives you going? As Belle just says, I don't really have a motive. I just have a need to do it. All I want to do is just make my familia the best. As Eyes is like, oh, how about some training practice? As Belle was like, if that's what you want, Sir Princess, don't blame me if you come crying to your familia. As as Eins is really losing. As Belle has decided to let's just fight in this town square right in front of the church. As Aya says, why should we fight here? As Belle says, well, it's a good place to practice, isn't it? And also, you do need the practice. As Ainz takes 4 steps back, as Belle turns around and takes 4 steps back, and he's just sitting there, just saying, "Alright, we're going 3. 1," and I says 2, and Belle says 3. She dashes to Belle, and she uses her sword to slash at Belle, but she just slashed an after image. And since Belle is in his human body, he's way faster than, yeah. He's fast in human body, but in Gypsy Danger, he is unstoppable. But, yeah, minus the speed, though. As Belle just goes to says, elbow rocket. Now, hits Eyes in the chest and cracks one rib. Eyes grabs her like ribs and just says, as she's going back, but she puts her blade to the ground and it's stopping her from going any farther. As Belle was like, so you managed to stop yourself. Impressive, Belle's saying. But Belle says, no matter. In the end, though, you cannot beat me, Eyes. I am strong. I am insanely strong, and you're nowhere near my level. As Ainz is now using her magic, she just says, let's see about that. As she uses her technique, as she basically disappears in front of Belle, and then as Belle just closes his eyes and just says, she's slow. As Belle deploys his blade, and he puts his hand behind his back with the blade and blocks Eyes' attack. As Eyes is like, what the hell? Deployable weapons? As Belle is now using his blade. As Belle just says, listen, Ainz, you can't always attack someone from behind. It's too obvious. As Ainz says, she just says, whatever. Let's see how you do about this. She's now attacking at random points. As Belle's slowly is dodging every attack. He's not even he's not even breaking a sweat as well. As Belle decides to unemploy his blade, puts his blade back in his hand or in his wrist. Belle uses his rocket fist and predict where she would be, and it was the correct position. Ainz went through 2 buildings and she just like, how are you this strong, Belle? As Belle goes up to her, walks towards her as well. Belle puts his hand out and just says, "Come on, Ainz, let's call it a day." As I says, "Okay, we'll call it a day." As Belle lifts her up, and they say goodbye to each other as she's going back to her familia. Now she has 2 more ribs that are broken. Yes, indeed. I know, right? Tell me, comic section guys, do you like this idea? Because I certainly do. As as Belle begins now going to the dungeon, and Ainz is slowly walking behind him. She's not showing that she has three broken ribs, and she manages to clean herself off from any like scrapes and stuff. So yeah. As Belle gets to the dungeon, and as Eyes gets back to her Loki familia, everyone's like, she says to their healer, hey, I need some healing. And they say, what do you need healing for? She says, I have 3 broken ribs. Everyone's like, what? Who did this to you? As I said, Belle Cornell. As their jaws are like dropped, and they like say, the same guy that beat 51 minotaurs in a day. I says yes. And they're like, are you serious? As as Ice shakes her head, yes. As everyone in Familia is like, that guy broke the Sword Princess's ribs, and she almost lost the fight, but the guy called it a day, and you two just decided to go home. As a Ice says yes. Anyway, let's go back to Belle. As Belle sees the lady with the glasses, as she says, is there anything new for me to do? As she says, well, you can go to the upper mid floors, but as Belle gives her that look, but what? She hardly believes that Belle did that, but the Loki familiar says he did it all by himself, so Belle can go to the mid floors without even needing a partner. And if you're wondering, yeah. Tell me in the comment section if you love this series. I will be down to do part 2. I may do part 2, maybe. If I don't like my friend's audio, or I don't like the story, I'll do it. I'm sorry, Red, but I have to make sure my viewers understand what you're saying, because you kept cutting out, so yeah. As Bo is now going to the mid floors, as he just decides to look at the skills that he has on his HUD. He now has the skills of. He now has the skill of being insanely 2 more times durable. Because Bill has a skill that makes him like unaffected by damage or magic, and that's been increased about 2 more times. So Gypsy Danger is now 2 times harder to break and rip apart. If you love this series, guys, tell me please, because I love this what if. I just really wanted to do it, and I wish to do it. And I wish to make this video an hour. So that's what we're gonna do. When Bill got to the mid-floor, he saw a dragon. And so, Bill deployed his one blade on his right hand, and he lunges at the dragon. However, he slashes its neck clean off, like it was nothing, and doing it in a badass way. His knees land onto the ground, sliding. And he undeploy the blade back into his hand. As Bell is walking up to the dragon, he picks up the shards and he finds a magic item. As Bell looks at the magic item, he uses his HUD to read it. It says, "Warning, magical item. Enhances users' awareness level. However, downside, you would take 2 times more damage." As Bell was like, "Nope, I'm slugging this." Up to you guys in the comment section. You decide Bell's fate. As Bell was stretching out, stretching out his hands in the mid-floor, and just making sure he's all lumbered up because I bet Gypsy Danger gets a bit get clogged up sometimes. So Bell's just stretching out to make sure that he's all lumber. By the way, guys, how the fuck have I not said Deku at all for mistaking Bell for this what if? I don't know either. But anyway, after Bell was done. Sorry, I accidentally unmuted my TV. But anyway, as Bell finds a monster, a goblin, and the goblin throws a spear at Bell, and the spear bounces back at the goblin and goes straight for its face, and as also kills it. As Bell just stands there, not taking any damage, it's like he's like, I might as well kill you all. And he uses he uses 2 blades and kills all the goblins with one slash. Because that's how fucking OP he is. Also, thank you guys so much for all the support for this channel. Thank you so much for everything you've done for this channel. But anyway, I'll get back to the video. I can't remember that one person's name that's stalking Bell. Whatever. As Bell finally completes the dungeon, he's now level 18. As Bell has shards full in his bag of crystals and magical items. Bell did the same thing, but he used his hands to get down. And everyone's like, "Doesn't that hurt your hands?" And Bill's like, "No, not really." As he went down to the mid-floor, as he went back down to the floor to cash out. After he was done cashing out, Bell was tired. However, he went by the bar where the cafe is for the people that he meets, and he meets the gray hair girl. As she says, "Excuse me, do you mind if you come to our restaurant?" And Bill's like, whatever, sure. As also 5 minutes later, Loki Familiar got done doing a quest as well. However, when they enter the bar, they see Bell just looking right at them and just waves and says, "Hi." As they both quietly sit down, and they don't know what to, because the gods don't know what to nickname him, because he took out 51 minotaurs alone. And if the Loki Familia had him in his party, 100% he would be able to, plus the higher the monsters are for him, the more he can destroy them. You know what? Guys, tell me in the comment section. Should Gipsy Danger have a damage boost? Please tell me. And you guys can decide how much damage it should be. And how long this cooldown is for that. Besides, Bell's current weapons do about like 400 damage, but they keep, each time Bell levels up, they increase their damage by 100. So you can just imagine that. But thank you guys. As Loki familia begins drinking and celebrating that they've managed to defeat a high level foe. As Bell is also drinking some beer, it's not affecting him because it's just Bell can fucking take so much alcohol to the system. He can take about probably like probably 25,000 fucking beers or fucking booze, and then he'll be drunk. And of course, the lady gives Bell so much expensive food. He's like, okay, he just eats it instantly, and it's already gone. And everyone in the bar like, what the fuck? How can you eat that much? As Bell just says, well, I require a lot of energy. And everyone looks at him and is like, how the fuck are you not fat from that? As Bell's like, well, I exercise every day. I run 5 fucking miles. And everyone's like, 5 fucking miles. As Bell's like, yep. You have a problem with that, wolf boy? As the wolf gets up from his seat, he's like, wolf boy! As he gets pissed off and begins walking towards Bell, and he says, listen, you may have beat 51 minotaurs, but you can't beat the Loki familia. As the guy begins making a fist and makes a fist and the fist goes towards Bell in the face, but Bell's just standing there, and his cheek's like perfectly fine. However, the wolf guy's hand is completely fucking fractured, and he's like, "What the hell? Ugh! What the hell are you made of? Fucking iron? Jesus!" As Bell is kind of pissed off about this, just as it's not like being cracking his neck, and just says, "Well, you got an ass for it now, buddy." As Bell like just says, "Elbow rocket now." Punches the guy into the wall, and he's like knocked out, and it's like KO. As the lady's like, God damn it, no bar fights in here. As Bella just says, here, passes her a bunch of gold. It just says, there should be enough to pay the damages, right? And she says, yes? But she opens the bag and has 500 gold. And she's like, her jaw's completely dropped. And she's like, she faints. And everyone's like, the cook's down. As Belle just leaves the bar. As Belle is leaving the bar. As Belle leaves the bar, he goes to Hest. He's beginning to go to Hest. He's going to the church where Hestia is. As Eyes is like, okay, so he just beat one of my comrades with just one punch, so it's fine. She's like trying not to like just, cause she's like, oh, so he's been holding back. Oh yeah, and he just before he's like after he was leaving, he also said to everyone's like, and he said to everyone as he did that, it's like, I was holding back by a lot, and that was just like not even my full strength. And everyone's like, what's your full strength? As Bell just puts like a quiet sign to his mouth, just says, that's my secret. And that's none of your business. And everyone's like, oh my fucking god, this prick. I love this. And Belle goes back to like Hestia, and she's like sleeping on the couch. So Belle decides to sleep upstairs on the church, and he goes to sleep on the fucking. I can't remember their names, but you be sitting those in churches, and you make sure everyone in school is like really behaved. I can't remember the name. So yeah, I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna say chairs, whatever. But I think I'll end the series off here. If it's not an hour, well, 50 minutes is long enough. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Make sure you like and subscribe for this video. And please smash that like button if you prefer me to do part 2, guys. Or just scream in the comment section that I should do part 2. Up to you. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.